Welcome to Way to Java Learning. Today is our exception handling classes, and I'm just going to start exception handling. What is exception handling? So first thing is like exception is two types. Exception is two types. One is checked exception, and second is unchecked exception. Exception.
Okay.
Okay, and now but before this I need to explain what is exception. Exception is like if there will be one application, and in that application when we are running a class, so sometime method will method will get some unwanted issue, and because of that unwanted issue it will throw exception or error. Just I am just showing one example, here you can see, here you can see just um, yeah, this is the method public static void main, and here I have written, I am just calling this these all are commented, so don't worry. Otherwise I will remove it better, because otherwise you can be confused. Yeah, so here what I'm doing, this is public static void main. Here I'm just calling this test method here, test method, and again this test method is calling this test method, test one, and here I am just trying to get index value. So what I'm passing 4. I'm passing 4, but here index value is 0 1 2 3 0 1 2. Its length is 3, and its index value is 0 1 2. So it will, what will happen? It will, yeah, what will happen? It will throw one exception. What is the exception? That exception will be array index out of bound exception.
Out of bounds.
Array index out of bound exception. So what is happening? I will go line by line. What is happening? So means this is called exception. So exception, why it is happening? Because I am just passing 4, and 4 is coming here, then I am trying to get the fourth value. But when I'm trying to get fourth value, but in this index there are only three values, 0 1 2. So if I am trying to get 0 or 1 or 2, then there will not be any issue. But if I am trying to get fourth value, so here there is no fourth value, its length itself 3. So for that reason it should throw, it will means the meaning is that it cannot provide that answer. Because of that it is throwing that exception. So that is called exception or error. So there are some unwanted scenario where it needed, so so that our application work properly. So for that reason this is called exception. Now second point, how to, what is the flow, how this is working, how internally it is working. I am just going to tell exception means flow of JVM while getting exception. What is happening? Again I am just telling, when I'm calling this test method, at that time what is happening? uh, we already know that main method is running first. After main method, first line will be this test 4. After that test 4 it will come here, and then it will call this method. Then I am just I'm created one array. int array, and then I am doing printing. Okay, so uh, while printing only, it is I am just trying to get fourth value which is not available. So at that time it will create one exception object. So whenever any unwanted thing will happen, at that time some exception object will create. Those exception object will be depend on the issue, what issue is coming. So if index related to index there will be any issue, so object will be array index out of bound exception object will create. So internally what is happening, it is creating one object. So when it is creating one object, at that time uh, then after that JVM will come. JVM is what? JVM is our runtime environment machine, Java virtual machine. So when an exception object is creating, at that time JVM will come in the picture. And then JVM will do, JVM will take this object, and there are one stack trace. What is that stack trace? In stack trace, uh, um, all the method information will be available, uh, like in here from main method it is calling test4. So in stack trace there will be first row will be test4, after that it will call this test method. So in second row it will be test method, third it will be test1 method, like that. In that is like stack trace. So in stack trace all the information will be available. So what JVM will do, JVM will go reverse wise. JVM will go to that stack trace and it will search this test1 method available, available there, but is it handling this issue? Then it will get, it is seeing it is not handling. Then after that it will go to its calling method, which is calling method test method. Then again it will see that is it handling, it is also not handling. Then again it will go to its this test method calling method. So who is calling this test method? This main method is calling. So here also it will see, and then JVM will see, and JVM will check that it this method is handling. So here it is showing that it is not handling by any method. So what will happen? Then it JVM will give this object to the default exception handler. That is another, it will give that object to default exception handler, which will provide this many information. What is the information? Information like what type of exception is there, and what is the region of that exception, and which place this exception is occurring. That is the exception, that is the flow of exception. Got it? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, if you have any
Yes.
doubt, please let me know. Then now third point we are going. First point I told what I told what is exception. Second point, what is the flow. Third point, how to handle this exception. So how we can handle this exception? So we can use we can handle this exception with try with catch blocks. Try with catch blocks. This is try with catch
Yes, bro.
catch block. Try with catch block. Here catch block, what is the exception is coming? Array index of out of bound exception. Now it will be handle. Now I am just going to run, and then it will be handle. This is handling, and it is just from time. Now what is happening? JVM, when it is calling this method, then it internally this test1 is calling from here. Then what is happening? It is doing SOP. While SOP only, it is throwing exception. When it is throwing exception, then it is throwing when it is creating one exception object. then JVM will take that JVM that exception object, and then you can see the result you are getting only from type means after creating this object, it will not go this line. Suddenly JVM will see where it is handling, where this object is handling, then it will see in this method it is not handling, then it will go caller method of this method. So it is coming here. Here also it is not handling, then again it will come here and it is seeing that it is handling here. Now I will show one more things. I will show one more thing. I am just printing one value here also. After this, please print me one. I'm just here also doing. Then JVM will come here, and when JVM will come here, it will see this catch block, and it will print this one. Now I am just showing this one. It will also not print this. Again, you will get only from try. That now this is the logic. Like JVM only coming when JVM is coming here. So JVM is just searching who is handling this method, who is handling this object. So catch here, catch it is getting, and then it is handling. After that, it will it will print it. Try, catch. End of method. Now you can see it will print this end of
Yeah.
method also. So this see end of method also it is printing from try end of method. It will not
Okay.
print it.
So,
Uh,
so it is keep this line which say from the deadline from test.
which line number?
Yeah, that one you are there. This that line.
Ah, it will skip this line also. So that is the logic, that is the concept. Whatever concept I am giving you, that you have to put your what is happening. JVM is just searching who is handling this method. That's all. Who is handling? When JVM is coming here, then in this method, then JVM is checking who is handling. So it is coming here. Try it. Then it is checking that okay, this catch block. Then after coming here, then it is coming here, then it is checking okay, uh, this catch is handling, so then it will print this one. Now one more thing I will show.
Okay.
uh, I'll show one more
Okay.
thing. I'll show one more thing. Will it print or not? Here you will understand concept very well. Okay, here see, you can see
Yeah.
this is the flow. Okay, this is the flow is going on. What I told you, like it, I am just printing here also. Then you can understand very well. Then you can understand the flow also very well. This is the flow. How this flow is going, you can understand. Now what you are seeing.
Yeah, I see now. It is flowing. It prints.
Ah, so first what is happening? See, first it is coming here. This method is running here. Then, like we already know, like whenever we are executing a class, first it will come to main method. Then after that, it is printing this main method. Okay. After printing this main method, it is just calling this test4. Now this test4 is coming. It is coming here. Now it should print this one. It is printing this one. Now it is coming here. Test1 index. When it is coming here index, then it is going here, and then after that it is coming in this line. If you want, I will print this one also, so that you can understand very well.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, this is the flow, like that you can understand very well.
So So I can get this video on your channel.
Yeah, I will provide this video also in my channel.
Okay, so that I will keep revisiting them until I
Ah,
will get used to them. But for
ah.
now, I really understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So see, you can see this main method is coming. Main method, after that, it is calling this test 4 method. When it is coming this test 4, then it is printing this SOP. Then it is calling this test 1 index. After that, it is going here. It is coming here. After that, it is printing this test 1 method. When after that, it is coming this line. When suddenly when it is coming here, at that time it is creating one object because of that issue. Array index of bound exception it will come. So now JVM will search who is handling this object. So it will not go here because it is searching just who is handling. So here it is saying that it is no one is handling this. So who is caller of this test one? Test is caller. So it is coming here. It is coming here test one. So again it is checking. It is handling. It is not handling. So for that it is not printing this one. After that it is coming here, and then it will come to this method, and then it after coming this method, it is just checking who is handling. It is just suddenly it is coming this catch block, and then it is printing this one. And from time end of method, this is the flow of exception handling. Okay, got it?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the flow.
Yeah, I
You
get it, sir.
Yeah. Now, next thing, uh, this is the flow. So I cover the concept of what is exception. Second is flow of exception. Now, I was telling two types of exceptions. Two types of exception. One is checked exception. Second is unchecked exception. What is meaning of
Unchecked exception.
unchecked exception? What is meaning of this checked and unchecked? Checked exceptions are those exceptions which will catch in compile time. Unchecked exception, those exceptions which cannot catch in compile time. It will catch in runtime. It will catch in runtime. So
Okay.
I'm just showing one. Wait that, wait that. कहाँ गया? ये this one. So this is the flow. Like this is the checked and unchecked exception. Here first you see this hierarchy. In this hierarchy, there are two types of exception: checked exception and unchecked exception. So checked exception are those exception which will catch in compile time, unchecked which will not catch in compile time. And now so whatever is red it is checked, whatever is green it is unchecked. And here it is in detail manner it is given, detail manner. So if we'll go like this, here the super class of our exceptions is throwable. After that, this throwable class is two types: error and exception. error Error is error is not related to our application. Error is related to that hardware, something like like sometime what will happen, suppose you are trying to connect with the database, and suddenly some connection gone and all, or so those error that is not in your hand, so that will come in error point. Or sometime what will happen, like in your JVM will like will be full, so at that time you will get some stack overflow error. So these errors you cannot handle. So this is different, this is not related to you cannot handle these things, errors, because this is not the application related issue, it is related to our system issue. There can be many, so these all are part of error. bootstrap method error, class circular error, class format error. Then there are out of memory error, stack overflow error. So like no class definition found error. So this no class definition found error you will get. Suppose there will be two class. In one class you are calling other class. So what will happen, suppose you compile the class, so your dot class will create. After that, if you will remove, if suppose by mistakenly you remove that second class, which ha- which had dependency in first class. So what will happen, that first class will search that class file, but it will not get. So at that time it will get the no class definition found error. So this type of error you cannot handle. So this will come in error part. And in exception part, exception, there are exception in exception, there are two types. One is checked, one is unchecked. Checked exception, checked exception and unchecked exception. So here you can see this is runtime exception. Runtime exception is called that unchecked exception. And checked exception are this IO exception, reflective operation exception, interrupt exception, clone not supported exception. So this IO exception, this is the parent of these classes. File not found exception, socket exception, unknown. So this is little bit very lengthy. It can be lengthy for you. Just I am giving some little bit information. So mainly we focus on this runtime, like checked exception and checked exception. And in that also there are some specific classes you can say, like this arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception. Already we see arithmetic exception will come when there we will divide any value with zero. Class cast exception will get when we are typecast with means when we are typecast that object which is not uh, which is not which we cannot do. So in that time we will get class cast exception. So these are the exceptions are there. You can see here null point exception. So null point exception already, like if we are using any object which we not created. So these are the exception. So mainly you have to focus like checked exception, unchecked. So in checked and unchecked there are more things. In one more thing, checked exception are checked exception is called compile time, and unchecked is run time. I will give some more example because it can be very lengthy for you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, are you getting, or it is little bit lengthy for you?
I'm getting them. I'm getting them. I'll keep repeating them, but I'm understanding you.
Okay, sure. So now see, in array index out of bound already I showed you. Um, okay, I will show here only. What is null pointer exception? Null pointer exception. Null pointer exception is, suppose will I will comment it. Null pointer exception will be, suppose I am just exception ex equal to null. Now I'm trying to call ex dot ex dot. Okay, these are non-static method. These are static method. I will use one non-static test 2. Oh, exception 2. Here we'll get null point exception. So this is null
Yes,
point. This is null point exception, and arithmetic exception when you'll get like this is null pointer. I will null pointer exception. Oh, sorry, null pointer exception. Means this is a null pointer exception. Now I need to see that arithmetic exception. So arithmetic exception, like suppose if you are just trying to divide anything with 0 and then you are trying to do SOP, then you will get this arithmetic exception. You are getting arithmetic exception. So these are some types of arithmetic exception.
exemption.
Now these are runtime. So now some more exceptions are there runtime. So you can see that one. And now I will show that some checked exception. So checked exception is like class dot for name. Here you have to provide the class name. Here you have to throw. So now this is the main difference between checked and unchecked. Like whenever you are using checked exception, at that time you need to use this throws keyword. Throws keyword, because uh, if you will not use throw keyword, then it is checked exception. So it will always it will not, you cannot compile it, so for compiling this checked exception, every time you need to use this throws keyword. So throws keyword, where it is using to provide, to throw the checked exception. This is also a interview question, like what is the throws keyword. So throws keyword is using for throwing the checked exception. So class not found exception is the checked exception. Class not found exception is the checked exception. Okay, now sometime like file not, this is class not found exception. Class not found exception. Now file reader. here here also, like for file reader also, this is also checked exception. So for file reader, what we need to use, this file not found exception. File not found exception. So where you are using throws keyword, you are using keyword for checked exception. For unchecked exception, you no need to use this throws keyword, but for checked exception we need to use. If you will not use, then we cannot run the application, because it will always throw it will always throw that compile issue. So so there are some more input output exception, and this input output exception, file not found exception, and there are some more this class not supported exception, interpreter exception, input output exception. These are exceptions are there, these are all checked exception. So this is class not found exception, you can see. So these all are exception which are checked. So whenever you are going to use checked exception, you need to provide throws keyword. So now you already know that for throws also, how to use, where to use and all. You already know the try catch how to use, and checked and unchecked already knows. And then now now I am going to tell one is try catch with final block. Try catch, like we already know, like with catch we are handling, but in some scenario there can be some scenario where suppose we want some message, like suppose in real time some scenarios where when a try block is getting any exception, in that scenario I want some message not in catch block. Means in catch block is okay, but I want to execute some message after catch also. So how we can do, like we can do with finally block, with try catch with finally block. I will show you here only. I will show. Okay, I will put it. Sorry. What happened? Huh? Okay, remove it. Huh? Class not found exception. Uh, Now I need to see the try catch block. Okay, I will write here only so that uh, into I equal to number format. ओके, क्या एरर दिखा सकते हैं? ओके, स्ट्रिंग s1 equal to Saurabh. Now in teacher I equal to new new integer. What happened? What happened? Value of, okay, value of. कैसे वो है? I will. Okay, I will show this one. Int I equal to 9 by 0. Yeah, so we already know this will throw arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception object it will create. Now I am just putting it in try. With catch block. Okay. Arithmetic. Get message. You can get with, there's some method with this. You can get the method now. Finally. So finally block we are using when we means uh, in any scenario, if in any scenario it will execute. So this scenario it will execute. You can there can be some doubt in your mind, like you we already know, like uh, after catch whatever statement will be there it will execute, then why you are saying like finally will execute. So finally will execute in that scenario also when this catch cannot handle. Sometime it will happen like this catch cannot this catch cannot handle this catch blocks cannot handle this exception, like array index out of, I'm just putting here array index out of bound exception. We already know this is arithmetic exception, and this is not super class of arithmetic. These all classes are same category, so it cannot handle this one. Now what will happen, you can see this from finally will always execute. Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
This from finally will always execute. So this is using in our real life time, like when we are trying to fetch the money from ATM, and if that much money will not be available, then in that scenario it will throw an exception with some message. So this is the scenario, like it will throw you don't have money, and also after that it will throw one exception. It will throw one exception. Okay.
Okay.
So finally
Yeah.
will execute your finally will execute every time it will execute. That should be your answer. If only one scenario it will not execute. Dot zero. Yes. So here you can see, like I told you, like hello. Okay, I think I'm not sharing. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So this is the question. Like in which scenario this finally block will not execute. So your answer should be system dot exit. If I will use, then this finally block will not execute. Okay. In try block, if I will use system dot exit, in that scenario finally block will never execute. Okay. And other
Okay.
than all scenarios finally block will execute. Suppose there will not be any exception, there will not be any exception, I'm just
Okay.
there will not be any exception from try. In this scenario also this finally block will execute. So finally block will execute in every scenario. In only one scenario it will not execute, that will be system dot exit. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
So this is the advantage of finally block. Now, so one more question it will ask, can we use try with finally block? Can we use like this? So this is also okay. Try with finally block also it will work. Okay. So try with catch
Yeah.
block also it can work, and try with finally also it can work. So that this all scenarios it will work. Okay. So now